Today's video about what kind of fat makes us old and sick and what kind of fat is healthy. So again, I want to talk about fat as a source of energy and adipose tissue in our body. And first of all, I would encourage you to download the presentation because, as always, it is quite bulky, it is long video. You may save time and you can get information more clear if you just read presentation or text with references, and you can go to sources of information and read yourself. And so please do it if you want to get really in details of the presentation. So well, then I already noted in my videos the dangers about the dangers of consuming polyunsaturated fatty acids and vegetable oils as a source of this polyunsaturated fatty acids. And once again, that I remind you that you can eat, yes, if you want to extend your life longevity, you can eat only animal fats and oils from fruits. This is coconuts, olive fruits, and avocados, and palm oil. Palm oil can be a compromise between price and quality because the industrial way to extract the oil adds some carbohydrates in palm oil, so it is not very healthy. But if you're very short in money, yeah, it's okay. It's yet better than other kind of vegetable oils. Olive oil and avocado oil has monounsaturated fatty acids, and it cannot be used for frying, but only for salads and other use without heating. And the best source of fat as a source of energy for us, it is still considered ghee from cows that eat grass and hay. So, and beef fat tallow from such cows also contains not only all necessary fats we need, but also vitamins that are soluble in fats. And I consider that consumption of cheap vegetable oils leads to accumulation of lipofuscin. Lipofuscin in cells, I was talking about in previous videos about this, that this material, and this is lipofuscin, it is products from lipoproteins which comprise polyunsaturated fatty acids, and they oxidize and cannot be digested with enzymes, and then they accumulate in the cells in liposomes, and then it is really harmful. And especially so it accumulates inside the cells, and in our brain it accumulates also as amyloids, and it is atherosclerosis is the other kind of accumulation of these lipoproteins in the walls of large arteries, in the walls, not on the walls, not on the inside of the large arteries, but inside the walls. And then it leads to narrowing of the efficient cross-section and an increase in blood pressure. I was talking about this again, and that's just avoid at any cost. So you see that consumption of vegetable oils in America, in the United States, growing almost exponentially from year 1999, 1909, from the beginning of the century, it is growing exponentially, almost from zero to very high amounts. And meanwhile, the animal fat like butter, like lard and tallow, they are dropping in consumption very much. And if we will look at the composition of the dietary fats, you will see that the only vegetable oil which is safe, it is coconut oil. It is here. It has the highest content of saturated fatty acids, little bit monounsaturated fatty acids, and then it is one disadvantage that it doesn't have the vitamins which we can get from butter and from ghee, and And palm oil is some kind of compromise between price and quality, And the lard nowadays can be considered as not very healthy, because I'll explain it later, because equality, how people grow the pigs, and it is not healthy way. So lard is nowadays in some countries it is not healthy, and chicken fat also not. Quercetin routine and foods high in quercetin, such as buckwheat, may help to reduce the peroxidation of polyunsaturated fatty acids and accumulation of these lipoproteins and lipofusin, and in time our immune system may gradually remove them from the body, but it takes very long time. And if you are in old age, better even not to consume buckwheat, but to keep a carnivore diet. So it is, in estimation, it takes at least 2 years to heal the body, to reduce amount of polyunsaturated fatty acids, because these fatty acids, they are present in membranes of our cells and also the organelles. So, and for some people who are short in money, they can maybe use combination of so-called separate to eat separately, like buckwheat with animal fat, with butter, and but not together with protein. But again, I don't think it is a good idea. I will explain it that. This carnivore diet can be actually very cheap and helpful. So this polyunsaturated fatty acids then especially significantly harmful to our immune system, since macrophages and leukocytes, they try to remove this oxidized polyunsaturated fatty acids, but they cannot, and eventually they get transformed into form cells and die, and then it is increasing the inflammation, and it leads to degenerative diseases and accelerated aging. Also, the vegetable oils not only sources of polyunsaturated fatty acids, but also comprise of a variety of toxins. After all, plants protect their babies, so seeds, with chemical weapons, and these chemical weapons are toxins. Additionally, modern agriculture, agro-industry widely uses various poisonous, various toxins to control insects and weeds, and then certainly they accumulate in seeds. So try to avoid it. It's not healthy. Even lard would be some compromise again between quality and of the fat and price. And again, our body tries to minimize the effects of toxins that our liver is unable to detoxify and remove from the body. Therefore, the adipose tissue is used to store these fat-soluble toxins. So instead of accumulating in organs, it stores it in fat, so removes it from some important organs. And but the consequences are such that the more people consume vegetable oils, and the more they accumulate adipose tissue, and up to the development of obesity. This trend then an increase of the number of people suffering from obesity, and with increase in consumption of toxic vegetable oils, is very well can be demonstrated in the example of the United States of America. Let's look. So the content of linoleic acid, it is omega-6 fatty acid, which is very harmful, very easy to get oxidized, and cannot be removed easily from our body. It is growing from 1960. It went up. It's about 3-4 times. And it continues to grow in comparison with like chimpanzee in forest or in a zoo that are not consuming so much this vegetable oils. And suddenly, because of the consumption of the vegetable oils. Obesity is growing among the United States adults. Let's say in difference from France, for example. In France, people consume mostly, till now, they consume mostly animal fats, and they are much more healthy. They don't suffer from obesity, in difference from America and South America, like Mexico. And why? Because again, this cheap food in fast food restaurants is available, and it is people are just lazy to cooking, and then instead they go to these restaurants or use some delivery, and this leads to epidemic of obesity and degenerative diseases associated with accumulation of polyunsaturated fatty acids. Yeah. So until now, official medicine is so corrupted that it recommends the use of such oils, polyunsaturated, this vegetable oils, to lower cholesterol level. They call it cholesterol level, this low density lipoproteins, they call it low cholesterol. It is again some confusion. And also they recommended to improve health. Again, they're absolutely different from the scientific data, so it is actually science gives quite opposite recommendations if you will follow the not corrupted science. And also nutritionists attribute the problem of obesity to lifestyle and to increase in sugar intake. Yes, of course, I can accept that consumption of sugar leads to accumulation of some adipose tissue, but that actually consumption of this toxins, consumption of vegetable oils creates this craving for sugar, because it's our body tries to save us, to keep some balance. But also what else what nutritionists advertise the use of fruits and fruit juices, and it is also strongly promoted, which are saturated with fats, and high intake of sugars lead to accumulation of the end products of glucation. So it's again, this is very, very dangerous stuff, because this is proteins cross-linked with glucose and fructose in our body, and it leads to loss of elasticity in blood vessels and increased blood pressure, and etc., accelerated aging of the skin, and then insulin resistance, etc. So it's again that what is happening is, again, we see that medical care, it's business to keep people sick, and especially this relates to vegetable oils. And I already talked about the cholesterol became the wrong name for low density lipoproteins, which are vehicles to transport fats, fatty acids, and esters of fatty acids and cholesterol in the blood. So we need it when we follow the ketogenic diet. So if we get if we use fat as a main source of energy for the body instead of carbohydrates, the concentration of this low density lipoproteins is increasing though, but when doctor measure your blood, and they say, oh, you have so much of this low density cholesterol, which is dangerous and which create problem of atherosclerosis, it's absolutely wrong. And then they prescribe people with this statins and other dangerous drugs, and only produce harm to the human body. Again, it is just business, okay? Just business to keep people sick. Business when the insurance companies work together with official medical care, and they keep humans as stock, living stock, as sheep. So they use other people only for profit, don't care about the health, real health of humans. Okay, then again, if we will look at adipose tissue, and let's consider its function. There is nothing wrong in our body to have the adipose tissue. We need it. It has many functions which are necessary. And there are two main types of the adipose tissue. It is white and brown. And newborns have a large amount of brown adipose tissue, up to 8% of their body weight. It is, it is to keep temperature stable, temperature of the body of newborns steady. But as we are aging, we are losing this brown adipose tissue, and especially older people, elders, they cannot stay in a cold environment, and they are getting very easy infected. And so this is again, I was telling already that that berberine improves the conversion of white adipose tissue to brown adipose tissue. So we need it. We need adipose tissue anyway. Okay, then also women, when they are lactating, then adipose tissue cells can reversibly be transformed into milk producing cells, pink adipocytes. This is a very beautiful picture of this brown brown adipose tissue. It is look good. You have big cells which are like brown because of high ferrum oxide or iron oxide inside the mitochondria, and also they have number of smaller cells which are pre-adipose cells, and also some microphages and nerve cells and collagen and blood vessels. It's a beautiful picture, and it's actually a quite complicated structure. Yeah, so the structure of the adipose tissue along with fat cells, which are adipocytes, and their precursors is this pre-adipocytes. They include fibroblasts, mast cells, stem cells, and cells of the nervous tissue and the endothelium, macrophages, and then the adipose tissue itself is permeated with capillaries, and then when we have excessive fat accumulation, then the cells begin to divide, and the number of fat cells increases. It may increase at any age, but especially easy for children. And because adipose tissue practically does not consume oxygen in comparison with muscle cells, for example, then it is easy way to conserve energy, and so it is also, but also it is a storehouse. It is a reservoir of fat-soluble vitamins A, D, and E, but also toxins which cannot be neutralized in the liver, and it's created from the body. So again, schematically presented the adipose tissue. You see that it has quite stem cells and regenerative cells and a lot of interesting features. Yeah, okay, then again, but adipose tissue is distributed in the body not evenly, and different people have different kind of distribution. And there are two general types of distribution of the adipose tissue in the body. It is the apple type, and then when white fat is deposited mainly in the abdominal cavity and in inner organs, and peripheral. That's when white fat is deposited mostly on the skin, on the legs, and also the butts and buttock. And then the peripheral obesity is not considered to be as harmful as for health as deposition of internal fat, and especially in young age, women are especially prone to such kind of obesity, because they need energy to nurture, to feed a child. They produce milk from this fat. Okay, then again, it is considered that up to 5% in men and 10%, about 12% maybe in women, it is essential fat which we need, absolutely need, because we cannot stay without with less amount of fat. But some bodybuilders, they can have about 10%, men can have 10% fat, and the women like 16, 17. And fitness, healthy people have about 15% men, and women have about 23, 22, 23. This is healthy composition. But all what is above 25% of body weight, and for men, and 32% for women, considered unhealthy and obese. So this is again some demonstration how fat can be distributed. It is in the lower body, and then abdominal, that's accumulation of fat, or along the whole body. It is some blend or transition between this and this type. And the most dangerous is such type with visceral fat. It is like abdominal fat on inner organs, and so it is again the schematically we can see it here. So healthy fat, we have fat, we need fat to keep our kidney and also to protect our inner organs, and we have some amount of the fat on the skin, but as amount of this internal fat is increasing, it's getting more and more dangerous, and up to this such situation when we have a lot of visceral fat which is inside the body. Okay, then also what is important, our immune system, newborns, they have thymus gland, big size in comparison to the size of the body, but in time as we grow it is shrinking, but moreover it is not only shrinking, but tissue of healthy cells get replaced by fat cells, and also it is with our organs. The healthy heart has some amount of fat which protects the heart, but we have too much fat with this visceral fat accumulation in case of obesity. The fatty liver can be developed, especially if we consume a lot of fructose in food, and so fat accumulates in the liver. And bones have a lot of fatty adipose tissue, a lot of fat cells, because they need energy to produce blood cells. So it is important part of our body. But in time, the amount of adipose tissue in bones is increasing, and it is not very healthy. So, and again, this very beautiful picture of atherosclerosis when this fat accumulates inside the not on the inside, but that in the wall of the blood vessel. Yeah, I was talking about this. Is just very good demonstration that we have smaller blood vessels inside the wall, and then the fat accumulates inside. And you know that I already explained how it works. So and then it is very dangerous, because cross section is get reduced, and then pressure, blood pressure is rising, because our heart tries to pump blood through these narrow vessels, and it is not good. But again, what is interesting, some children already have very narrow blood vessels because of accumulation of fat inside the body, and they have high blood pressure from childhood. And the more they consume these vegetable oils, the more they are getting these problems. But they consider, oh, it is okay. We always have this. We always had such high pressure, like 160 to 100 or whatever. So personally, I measured recently my blood pressure 2 times, 2 days separately, and it was 70 to 105. So I consider it is a little bit low, because, and the reason is that most probably because I started to take quercetin, and quercetin makes my blood pressure low. And but in principle also it is some remedy. I consume some remedy which is cleaning my blood vessels inside, and it is also results in reduced blood pressure. too, but I feel quite good, no problem. Sometimes, again, sometimes quercetin can work so that you have low blood pressure and a little bit dizzy. I was already talking about this. Okay, then again, you have to understand that the accumulation of the internal and subcutaneous fat is primarily a protective reaction of the body to toxins and polyunsaturated fatty acid, which we are getting with food. The more toxins we are getting, the more vegetable oils we consume, the more fat we need to store these toxins. So, and therefore, exercises does not lead to a decrease of the amount of stored fat in the body. On the contrary, with high workouts, with exhausting workouts, appetite increases dramatically, and the calories spent during the exercises are more than compensated by calories from food afterwards. And likewise, low-calorie diets provide only temporary weight loss, but the high weight gets rebuilt as soon as the person returns to a normal diet. Moreover, when the calorie content of food is reduced, the body responds with a decrease in metabolic rate in order to protect itself from toxins that are released into the blood during the burning of stored fat. Therefore, we have to reduce the level of obesity. We have to reduce the amount of toxins which are entering our body and completely avoid vegetable oils. And okay, it also was noticed long ago by farmers that if cows before slaughter are fed not with hay and grass, but with grain, then the adipose tissue volume increases. And in this case, is fat deposited both between muscle cells and on internal organs. And the same also feeding chicken with crushed grain, soybean meal and cake from sunflower and other seeds. Then when the amount of linoleic and this omega-6 fatty acids in total energy balance is about 6-7% instead of recommended 1-2%, then these polyunsaturated fatty acids accumulate in adipose tissue. Then again, so we have to mind it that also in fish, if it is commercial fish production, it also a problem that the fish accumulate this omega-6 fatty acids and the fat gets unhealthy. So mind. Pork in the lard may contain high amounts of polyunsaturated fatty acids if animals were fed with seed-based pellets with soybean meal, and then in past small farmers fed them with tubers and grass and other stuff, not with grain. Grain, again, there is a common rule: no grain, no pain. So avoid grain, and because grain, grain comprises a lot of toxins, and it will make a lot of damage to our body. Okay, then would it be possible to reduce the content of polyunsaturated fatty acids in meat and of animals and birds and poultry, eggs and fish? Yes, of course. I moved to Thailand long ago, and I tried to go to farming, and I was growing food for myself and also to sell. And for myself, for example, I fed laying hens and used sprouted rice grains and some mesh made from chopped tubers and with additional vitamins, minerals and fish meal. It worked very well, and hence were laying a lot of eggs, up to 5 eggs a week. So it was, and very high quality eggs. It really was very, very healthy food. And also I was growing mushrooms, and mushrooms have not so many toxins, and together it was, again, I was selling some excess of this production, and so it was almost free for me. So this food was free. Okay, so you can read the presentation again, that I would insist that obesity is not a consequence of lifestyle and the addiction to carbohydrates, but a protective reaction of the body to toxins which are coming from food. Therefore, we have to get rid of the guilt feeling which is imposed on us by official medicine and education, that they blame obese people on laziness and that they are not able and that so lazy not to burn fat. It is impossible to burn fat because as soon as you try to do it, your body will protect itself and by lowering the metabolic rate, and then you will just be not able to do it, not able. So first, then you have to remove this amount of the toxins which in polyunsaturated fatty acids. Of course, obesity, it is not good because it is increasing the rate of accumulation of senescent cells, zombie cells, and so far accelerates aging. So, and also accelerates level of chronic inflammation in tissues. It's very, very bad. But again, what is the cause? Why? Because first we get the toxins. Toxins create increased number of senescent cells, and senescent cells produce chronic inflammation, and chronic inflammation starts this explosive increase in number of zombie cells, and so we have accelerated aging and we have these degenerative diseases. But again, it is not because we are lazy, not because obese people are lazy, but because of the diet, because they consume too much of this fast food and too much polyunsaturated fatty acids. It's primary reason. Okay, and then even again, I would say there is no direct relationship between the amount of stored fat and the life expectancy. So you can be thin but have a higher content of toxins in the adipose tissue and live short, or you can be overweight and yet have low content of toxins and polyunsaturated fatty acid in the adipose tissue. And yeah, so again, despite obese mice normally suffer from degenerative disorders and die before some calorie restricted mice, yet it is again the diet is not the details of the diet is not disclosed. They say it is high fat diet, but they don't say it is fat full of polyunsaturated fatty acids, and they produce the result of these experiments as this propaganda to move from carnivore diet, from fat, animal fat, to vegetables and vegetarian diet. And the vegetarian diet is very, very harmful to us. It is even more dangerous than any standard diet. In time, of course, first you will get some improvement, but it will not last long. And yet again, we have examples that accumulation of large amount of subcutaneous fat is normal for marine mammals like whales, and it is not short in lifespan. So in contrary, some whales live for 300 years and stay healthy. So it's fat actually. It is protecting protecting whales from environment, and they keep them inside the vital organs at normal temperature, at good temperature for them. Well, and then again, there was some research. You just can go through the presentation, and there are references. So that people try to surgically remove the visceral fat in obese mice, and then it is something interesting that maximum life expectancy of these treated mice was longer than untreated. So it is again was that okay, this is, you see, the dangers about this visceral fat inside the internal fat. Yes, but also you have to consider that together with this fat, they removed toxins and the polyunsaturated fatty acids, and then the result was, yes, the result was quite obvious that mice lived longer. But it is not all the story. Again, this is just a part of propaganda. Yeah, so, and okay, then again, a lot of publications about the danger of this obesity and the internal fat, and also about the training. Yes, training is and physical activity always helpful, but it is not the way to cure the obesity. It helps, it certainly helps. Especially it helps to remove the toxins. So if you follow the carnivore diet and the intermittent fasting, then the physical exercises help to start autophagy, self-cleaning of cells, and self-cleaning of cells also you produce less of this reactive oxygen species, and then altogether it helps to remove this polyunsaturated fatty acids from your body. Then it is, of course, it is more healthy. So I would not deny, but it is not a way to lose the fat. To lose the fat, first you have to stop consumption of vegetable oils and to follow the ketogenic or beta carnivore diet. Oh yeah, okay, then there are a lot of stuff, propaganda that, oh yeah, obesity make your life shorter. Of course, yes, right, but again, why people get obese? Yep, okay, let's go further, and yeah, there are some interesting, I think, yeah, not here, just a little bit more, okay. There was research which is really honest research and very important research at the University of Michigan and the Center of Heart Disease. What people did, they took mice and then removed the omega-6 fatty acids from the diet. That's all. And then the diet contained above 60% of energy. The mice were getting above 60% of energy from fats, but not omega-6 fatty acids, it was animal fats. And then there was no obesity. So it is again fat-based, fat-rich diet didn't make mice obese. Yeah, so it is clear indication why people and mice getting obese, because of this vegetable oils, soybean oils or whatever, this vegetable oils. And also it was demonstrated for other kind of diets containing 35% of calories from fats, 12%, but in quite opposite, they used the diet which was low in fat as a source of calories, low, but they used soybean oil, which is high in PUFA, and they got obesity for low fat diet. Okay, so this again very important, very interesting result, which is make everything clear. So even if you consume low amount of fat, but you're getting this, you are using vegetable oils, you can get obesity very easy, even if you consume very little amount of fat. But even if you follow ketogenic diet, but use animal fat, butter, and maybe coconut oil, then you stay healthy, and it is actually very, very helpful for the body. Okay, then what? So again, I want to remind you that I believe that main reason for the development of obesity is the consumption of oils from plant seeds, and especially for thermal processing of food, frying in such vegetable oils, which is very common in fast food restaurants. It is the reason of obesity. It is the reason. And another, it is accumulation of toxins that enter our body through food, air, and water. But mostly, again, the vegetable oils are source of toxins, and together with other seeds like bread, pasta, yeah, all the seeds, grains, all the grains are toxic. In a younger age, it's probably not big problem, but the older you are getting, the more it creates a problem. So better again in older age just follow carnivore diet, because there is no other way. You need in older age, you need so much of protein that no other diet will keep you healthy. And and then okay, of course the physical exercises are useful, it is good, but not to burn calories, but rather to help eliminate the toxins, to take toxins down. And then you need just simple set of rules. I made such rules for myself, and I follow these rules. And the number one, it is the most important, completely stop consumption of plant seed oils, and especially in fast food and food fried in such oils. Just stop it, okay? Just never eat it. But you have to be also cautious about the use of some animal fats like chicken fat, as they also contain high amount of polyunsaturated fatty acids. Second rule, so it is important and necessary to increase the intake of antioxidants in order to reduce the level of peroxidation of polyunsaturated fatty acids and lipoproteins already accumulated in the body. Again, you have to shift to this ketogenic diet or to carnivore diet, then your mitochondria will produce not so many reactive oxygen species, less, yes, and then with less reactive oxygen species, you consume these antioxidants, and slowly, it takes years, but then you can reduce level of peroxidation, and your immune system slowly will reduce the amount of the polyunsaturated fatty acids and then lipoproteins with polyunsaturated fatty acids. Again, quercetin, I was telling in previous video, quercetin is very good, affordable, and you cannot consume, you cannot get necessary amount of quercetin from onions or like other sources of quercetin, but the use of dietary supplement, it is relatively cheap. So I took personally like this, about 1 gram of quercetin. Maybe in time will take more. Third rule, again, carnivore diet with at least of 2 grams of animal protein in dry weight per kilo of body weight per day. And there is no other alternative. In your old age, this is the way to go. Intermittent fasting. This is so if you eat once or twice a day, and with duration of fasting not shorter than 16 hours a day, and following strict carnivore diet and using animal fats as the main source of energy, then again slowly you will clean your cells, your brain, from this lipofuscin and from amyloids, and slowly you will improve the body. I used to have some problems with memory, believe me or not. I was losing some short-time memory actually, and I mean 3 maybe 4 years ago. And then now when I shifted to this ketogenic diet and don't use any vegetable oil, so much better, no problem with memory. Okay, and also if you have too much toxins when you are fasting, maybe too much toxins get into your blood, the best is to go for training and then physical exercises, then some amount of toxins would be expelled through the skin, and then it is very helpful, and you will feel much better. But if you are not, it is not your day of physical activity, just maybe drink a cup of coffee or hot chocolate with no sugar, but with a piece of butter or coconut oil, some coconut oil. Yeah, and do this autophagy at least 3 times a week, or maybe more, whatever you can afford. And take some dietary supplements to speed up your metabolism. In particular, I was telling already, vitamin B3 and nicotinamide and niacin together combined, it is the best, with quercetin. Quercetin, I already again watched my previous videos. This is a very good combination, and you will have your metabolism up. You will have much more energy and feel yourself much better. Also, DHEA helps, and it is also improves level of testosterone production and rate of metabolism. So it's, but you have to take it before the exercises, otherwise it doesn't work. Okay, then practice taking drugs and dietary supplements to reduce blood glucose levels, such as metformin and berberine, and reduce amount of carbohydrates in the diet to 20-50 grams a day. Okay, it is not a crime if you have some cheating day and take more carbohydrates someday, but don't combine fat with carbohydrates. You can combine a lot of protein with some amount of carbohydrates, and it is okay. But don't do it all together. Don't eat normal food like when it is all in carbohydrates and proteins and fat all together. This is very helpful, very harmful. And next rule, it's engage in intensive mental work. Use your brain, and your brain needs a lot of calories, and it is a good way to burn calories and improve metabolism in the brain, and to remove these amyloids and to avoid this development of Alzheimer's disease and all these neurodegenerative diseases. So it is very good. And you have to sleep 7 hours a day minimum, and if possible you can use some short nap after the main meal, and if you eat so much, you are just falling sleepy, and half hour, or maybe I don't know how much you can afford, it's good for health. But during the night, use anything, again, some meditation and cold shower, melatonin, 5-HTP, and some even antihistamines, or even maybe drink some alcohol. I drink some remedy which helps me to sleep. And so it is, again, very important. And my recent proposal, take a dose of citric acid, at least 2 gram and more, actually, at least per day, immediately after the main meal with proteins. So it will improve digestion of protein and will reduce acidification of your body environment, as zombie cells and cancer cells, they produce this acidic environment, yeah, and then this lemon acid, it's actually, sorry, not lemon juice or citric acid or lemon juice also helps us to keep this environment healthy and avoid this acidification, and so you will feel much better. You may agree or not. For its rule for myself, I give up on consumption of vegetables and fruits almost completely, and instead I understand some importance of fibers, but instead of fibers I use resistant starch and cocoa powder. And it is also and it gives me some, again, it works like fiber. It provides food for healthy microbiome and in the colon, so it is good. It is good. Also, it gives a little bit higher volume of this poop, and okay, then maybe not bad. But again, in some amounts, not so much. 15 grams, maybe 30 grams together. No, up to you. At the same time, mushrooms are good if you're not getting blowing, because mushrooms may create a problem of blowing of your stomach, because this microbiome release so many gases in the stomach. So maybe some people don't like it, but for me it is okay. I take mushrooms like 300 grams maybe, no problem at all. I like it. If cheap mushrooms available, or if I grow myself. And seasonal fruits you can consume. Sometimes it is like a dessert to improve the feeling of satiety after big protein meal. It's okay. And okay, of course you drink plenty of clean water, to avoid dehydration. And if possible, go to saunas and steam rooms and baths and swimming in seawater. Swimming in seawater is very, very helpful. If no, you don't have seawater, okay, try to swim in fresh water. Swimming is good. And take required amount of minerals, because if you follow ketogenic and carnivore diet, you normally little bit you have some deficit in potassium and magnesium. Magnesium always you have always deficit in magnesium, so take this as supplements. And internal organs of animals such as liver and kidney, absolutely. If you eat once a week, it's already good. Not every day, maybe twice a week, but it's very, very helpful. And then again, accept it and take it easy. That modern medicine is a business to produce profits. It is business to keep people sick, but take it easy, okay? Take it easy. Try to avoid. So you have to also understand that society as a whole is not interested in extension your personal lifespan and improving your health, not at all. And don't pay attention to advertisement for the diet and the additional supplements and medical practices. Think for yourself. I think for myself. I do not provide any advertisement. This what I follow. It is quite natural stuff. Or if I use some supplements, these are very, very common supplements which are relatively cheap, and then or I try like instead of alpha glutaric acid, for example, I propose to use citric acid. Well, like this. So no need to waste your money. Instead of nicotine mononucleotide, which is quite expensive, and resveratrol, which is very expensive. Again, you use quercetin, which is relatively cheap. You use nicotinic acid and the nicotinamide, which are cheap components. I do not advertise some expensive stuff. I'm not getting any royalty from the production of these expensive supplements. And also avoid stressful situation and stress in your body. Okay, so you should not watch TV. Try to avoid discussing political news. Cut down on communication with those people who interfere with your personal life. And if possible, again, if possible, if you are in such older age and if you can move to countryside, try to grow some food for yourself. It is not difficult. It is a lot of fun actually. And also remember that we live in very Eastern time. Then everything is changing, and you can lose money, property, job, friends, and but you have to remember, and that priority should be physical and mental health. And moreover, state of your mind determines the state of the body. Yeah. So and try again. I'm Christian, so I try to follow and to live in accordance with Christian standards of morality and behavior. It helps get rid of the fear of death and illness. I feel myself protected, so it is helping very much. And because it is not the infection mostly, but stress and fear would destroy your health and destroy your health and lead to premature death. And of course, you have to be productive and creative person. Do whatever. Take some hobby. Music, go to science, or to do anything, yeah, what you like. It is again, but be creative, enjoy life. Try to get something, to do something what is the sense of your life, what is has value for other people and for yourself. And believe me, in future situation will be very, very hard. It is not only that you will get retirement payments and maybe it will be cancelled. Even I consider the possibility of introducing in that forced euthanasia for all the people. And yeah, it is already going on. It's going on already. It's happening. when during these lockdowns, all people were forced in the nursing homes and then in crowded rooms, they get infected and they diseased. They get the infection and just passed away. So it is the way to kill the elderly. This is the plan. This is the idea. And again, this is society as a whole don't care. They sell such ideas that everybody life is of value. We have to protect our grandmothers, but for the sake of protection of the grandmothers, we destroy life of younger people. And but they are not protecting older people. They are just kill them. They kill them. The society is all these politicians. They kill elderly people, and I'm quite stay here, and fortunately, hopefully, I will avoid this program of depopulation, and but it takes quite efforts from me, and to stay healthy and to live long, to live through these interesting times. And again, following of these rules, which are neither difficult nor expensive. Yeah, you can always make your life cheap enough, affordable enough, that even if you don't get any retirement money, then you can grow your food yourself. If you stay in countryside, you can find a way to eat cheap. For example, some days I eat 7 eggs a day and I just cannot eat more, and I use citric acid to improve digestion of proteins, and maybe bone broth, which is also cheap. And then it is really not expensive at all. But again, I do not insist. I'm not doctor. I'm not medical specialist. I'm doctor in physics, not in science. I'm scientist. So, and what I provide you some information, references, so you can read and decide for yourself which diet suits you better. It is not medical advice. It's just my experience. I telling you about what I'm going to do, what I do, what are the results, but not all. I keep yet for myself some procedures which are maybe dangerous, and and again, it's kind of science. I make this review of literature, of available information, and present you this level of scientific knowledge. But my own science also may work. I can try something, this and that, to rejuvenate my body and to kill the senescent cells, to live much longer. Let's see how it works. I'm quite optimistic. About this. So, and I see results. I follow this rejuvenation program not long. I started it I moved to ketogenic diet just a year and a half ago, and I made a lot of mistakes at first, because it is difficult to find reliable information. I just didn't have time also to work hard on literature, and especially the internet and mass media are overloaded with advertisement and harmful advice for medical care, that again, the business to keep you sick. But when I have now more time to invest in scientific research and reading scientific publications, then I understand it better. And since recently I accelerated this way of to keep myself healthy and strong. So I'm not going to stop it, because I like it, I enjoy it, I really enjoy it. Especially some days, if I do exercises, I just feel larger endurance, I feel strength, and my productivity growing. Of course, it is a little bit hard. In Thailand, it is a little bit hard because temperature is so hot and so high humidity. It is, for Europeans, it is really hard to stay here. And like 38, temperature 38 and high humidity. It's difficult. Okay, it's difficult. So I'm little bit. Some days I'm a little bit dizzy. But again, you go swimming or you go for exercises. You have this wind and blowing to you, and then you are sweating. You are removing the toxins, and you feel yourself much better. Just recently, I went with a bicycle more than 100 kilometers, and It was perfect. It was quite perfect. I didn't feel myself too much tired. Of course, there are yet a problem which again take time because I was telling in previous videos in some experiments the mice they were getting this niacin, I mean nicotinamide, together with quercetin, and they restored the hair, the fur, and skin rejuvenated. But it took like 5 months, 6 months, and the metabolism of mice is 7 times higher than human. And then, so if I will see some improvement in my skin and hair, maybe my hair will return to natural color, I don't know. But it will take years. It will take maybe 3 years or longer. But now I cannot expect to see good results now. But yet it is coming. It is a little bit better than a year ago. So, and I will work on it. I will work on it. So, and I believe that people can live 600 years and still be healthy, and to enjoy life. But again, you have to be focused. You have to be to remember about the spiritual health, and this is a priority. And because you should not behave like an animal. You are human. Okay, this keep it. So I'm a Christian. It helps a lot to be in such a state of mind that to fight against all this craziness which is happening in the society about this pandemics, which is fake, absolutely fake, and also the danger of forced vaccination. It is troubling me so much because I know that this is not vaccine. But okay, I'm not anti-vaccine. Okay, vaccine can help. I used to get in my childhood some vaccines. Okay, then I'm alive yet. Okay, but yet I consider in older age vaccination will not work, and especially modern vaccines, they are very special, and vaccine against flu never worked. Flu is such a special virus, it is very hard to make a vaccine against the virus. Okay, so again I remind you that it is only for information purposes, and if I use some copyrighted materials, then I don't have any profit from it, and so I don't violate the patent law so far. And thank you for your time. If you was patient enough to watch the video, I encourage you, please download the presentation, keep it printed or whatever. I don't know. If you have some comments, please write down in the comment section, and subscribe, put likes. It helps me, and ask questions and share information with your friends. The more people will participate in this activity, the better. But of course, also mind that I have no support, no support from my research, and it is again not easy to do. I do it again. I do this video and I do this research first for myself, because I'm learning this information. I am engineer, I am physicist, and biology is a relatively new area for me, and so I want to learn quick, and then making these videos and presentation helps me to go quicker, to be more productive, also to understand better what should I do for myself. And okay, so I'm getting some, again, benefits from this anyway, but no financial support from any sources. Okay, have a wonderful day and see you next time.